Once again I welcome you to Chelsea Sports Channel, where I bring you all the breaking news from Stamford Bridge and Chelsea FC. Today I have more news coming up. Before we start the video, please subscribe, like, share and feel free to comment. Timo Werner back-ended goal drought to seal Chelsea's win over Newcastle. Timo Werner scored and assisted as he ended a 14-game goal drought to help Chelsea to victory over Newcastle in the Premier League at Stamford Bridge. Werner's cross rebounded out to Olivier Giroud to net Chelsea's opener in the first half, after the France striker replaced the injured Tammy Abraham. Summer signing Werner then made it 2-0 8 minutes later, scrambling in a flick on at the back post. The victory sees Chelsea move back up to the 4th place, ahead of West Ham. It was Werner's first goal in exactly 1,000 minutes of Premier League action for Chelsea and ended a run of 31 attempts without scoring. He even had to wait for a video assistant referee decision before being allowed to celebrate properly, which he did with a relieved smile. His performance capped off another positive result for Chelsea under new boss Thomas Tuchel, who handed a start to out-of-favour goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga and came through unscathed. It was Arrizabalaга's first league start since a 3-3 draw with Southampton on the 17th of October after losing his position under former manager Frank Lampard. The Blues have now picked up 13 points from a possible 15 under the new leadership, winning 4 successive league matches in a row for the first time since November 2019. Chelsea is remembering why it helps to have a manager who trusts in his tactics and style of play. Clarity is returning after the vagueness that afflicted them under Frank Lampard. Thomas Tuchel has hit upon a system that suits this side, and he is finding ways to revive players who looked lost under Lampard, summed up by Timo Werner returning to his spiky best as Chelsea climbed into the top 4 thanks to a comfortable win over a dreadful Newcastle side. It appears a simple tactical shift was all Werner required to regain his belief after a torrid run in front of goal. After toiling as a winger in Lampard's favoured 4-3-3, he looks transformed as an inside left. Werner knows the position well from his time at RB Leipzig. It allows him to operate in more dangerous areas, and he thrived against Newcastle, creating Olivier Giroud's opener before scoring for the second time in 20 matches. Rice and Diop led in form West Ham to win over Sheffield United. More credit must go to Tuchel for trusting Werner. This is a manager working out how best to deploy the array of attacking options at his disposal and, more often than not, getting it right. Tuchel has taken less than a month to lift his new side out of mid-table, and there is already a different feel to Chelsea, more purpose with the ball and more aggression without it. He keeps making the right calls. His selections have been meritocratic, and he has given opportunities to supposed lost causes. The latest experiment was to give Kepa Arrizabalaga the first start in the Premier League since the 17th of October, and the goalkeeper was accomplished behind Chelsea's back 3, protecting his clean sheet when he denied Joe Willock with a superb late save. It would have been undeserved if Willock's header had crept past him. Newcastle was anemic in defence and attack, providing Steve Bruce's critics with further ammunition. They are 7 points above Fulham, who look resurgent in 18th place, and are far from safe on this evidence. Chelsea was dominant throughout, taking their cue from Mateo Kovacic's urgent passing from central midfield. There was an intensity to their play and intelligence to their coordinated patterns in the attack. Newcastle was quickly pinned back and was fortunate not to concede twice during the opening 10 minutes, escaping when Cesar Azpilicueta's header was cleared off the line before Tammy Abraham nodded a glorious chance wide. It was a poor miss from Abraham, whose evening worsened when Kovacic released him in the 15th minute. The striker looked certain to open the scoring until Jamal Lascelles intervened with a superb challenge, taking the ball before playing the man. Chelsea's appeals for a penalty were correctly waved away, and it was not long before Abraham limped off, making way for Giroud. The change made no difference to Chelsea's threat. Although Werner missed an awkward chance from close range, he refused to let his head drop. His direct dribbling tormented Newcastle, and his persistence paid off when he zipped clear in the 31st minute, making space before driving a low cross into the 6-yard box. Karl Darlow could only push the ball out to Giroud, who had an easy finish. Werner went close again, firing over from a Kovacic pass. He kept going, and after 39 minutes a corner hit Lascelles and bounced to Werner, who controlled before scoring in the league for the first time since the 7th of November. He worked hard, Tuchel said. He worked hard, Tuchel said. Again today he has an assist and a goal. This is super important for him. It's a big relief. Newcastle was never going to recover from 2 goals down. There was no spark to the visitors. It felt like an exercise in damage limitation from start to finish, and while allowances must be made for Callum Wilson's absence in attack, their lack of fight was impossible to excuse. The defending was feeble from such a negative side, and there was no presence up front without Wilson, who is out for 8 weeks with a hamstring injury. Miguel Almiron and Alan Saint-Maximin were terrible. Chelsea 2-0 Newcastle United, Premier League. We found it very difficult, Bruce said. The second half we changed things and had more intensity. I was pleased. There are positives. Yet Chelsea cruised after the interval. Callum Hudson-Odoi, reborn as a wing-back in Tuchel's 3-4-2-1, kept rumbling down the right and firing in crosses. Mason Mount was as bright as ever. Newcastle offered nothing. Willock's late header merely papered over the cracks. Please subscribe, like, share and feel free to comment. Thanks for watching.